Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On our YouTube channel we talk about all things homesteading and try to implement some of those things on our rural 100 acres here in southern West Virginia. Well, today it's time to upgrade the feeder for our piglets. It's really kind of tough to call them piglets now because they're going on 5 months old. Yeah, over 5 months old. And I've been using this 4-hole Brower feeder. I've had it for a couple years and it's been okay as far as a feeder goes, but they've just been a little rough on it. As they get bigger, then this thing's just not built strong enough to handle their mass as they throw things around. In fact, what happens as this feeder becomes empty, right now we're under our tractor shed, or what now I'm using for just pig shelter, and sometimes I can come up here and find this thing laying over the hill or knocked over here in the mud or flipped upside down. So they can really do some damage on it. In fact, I've had to replace several bolts and nuts, and there's places where the metal's bent and torn up. So it's one of those things. I usually use it to a certain point. When the pigs get a certain size, then I retire it. I put it away for the season, and then when I have piglets again, bring it back out. So it's time to retire this so it doesn't get beat all to pieces. And we're going to transition over to our large 2-ton feeder. I can put 2 tons of feed in it, and I put it in a different spot in the pasture, and that gives them access to that as well. So the neat thing about that, well, I guess there's a pro and a con to that. With only having 7 pigs this time that we're raising to process, where we normally would have as many as 25, then my 2-ton feeder, I'd usually put a ton in it a week, and that would be enough just to get through the week. So I'd have to load it once a week. Well, in this situation, I think a ton's going to last me 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've been putting 200 pounds in this about every 4 days. So if that average goes, then that would be what, 4 times 5? That'd be 20 days. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And obviously, they're going to, as they get bigger, they're going to eat more, put on more weight as we come to our final stretch of getting the pigs raised for processing this October. So we're going to swap these out. You know, one of the real benefits of having just a little bit of infrastructure is huge. Like before, we brought the dozer in earlier this year. If you're not familiar with that, I'll link to some videos here. But before we brought the dozer in, I wouldn't have been able to pull back here, and this is my favorite spot to feed the pigs in the drop feeder because it's closer to the creek, doesn't require me to haul feed up the side of the mountain, all that kind of stuff. But before, we've done videos of it where we had to bring this feed in, 1,000 or 2,000 pounds at a time, bringing the feed in with a tractor bucket, 2 to 3 bags at a time. Well, in this circumstance, because we've got this road created, and again, it's only not even 80 feet of road that we created, nice packed down, no nails, no big rocks, nothing like that. I can feel comfortable bringing my truck back here, and I can load the feeder directly out of my truck. So it's really helped with not only saving time, but with logistics. Because before I would have had to bring my truck up to the barn maybe, loaded either the side-by-side or the tractor, and then transported that step at a time here. And of course, even the side-by-side sits lower. The bucket, of course, I could lift over the feeder, but with that small bucket, I'm only getting I think I get 2.5 bags in there at a time. So when I want to put, if I want to put 2,000 pounds in here, then I'm looking at 20 bags. So that's 10 trips with a tractor. Whereas the truck I've only got 10 bags in it right now, but that is obviously only one trip. And tailgate's a little bit higher, so I don't have to lift as high. So one of the benefits, of course, of having this big feeder, even with 7 pigs, now granted, it's kind of overkill for 7 pigs, but when we had 25 or so, then it wasn't that big a deal. But since I'm not on the homestead full time, I go into the office and do other things, this gets me out of a daily routine of feeding these pigs. Now I still feed my sows daily because I don't want them having access to unlimited feed. But it's one less thing that I have to do on a daily basis, so it helps reduce some daily farm chores. So even if you've got a smaller number of pigs, if you're looking to juggle multiple schedules or multiple situations there, it may be worth looking at a larger feeder like this. Now again, with water, we're blessed to have a stream right behind us, so I don't have to worry about hauling water. But in that same situation, obviously you'd have to have a waterer as well. Okay, that's actually, I put 800 pounds in that. I needed to save 200 pounds for my sows for this week, but I don't know if this camera's picking up on that, but you can see the fill line. Obviously, fill on this end because that's the side I was dumping it on, but that's 800 pounds. So you can see there's definitely capacity there to put a full 2,000 pounds in it. And we'll see how this goes. I've not had, the only thing I'm a little worried about is feed being in here that long. Again, using our math, if this is 800 pounds and I'm burning 200 pounds every 4 days, then that's 4 units. So that's 16 days. So with all this time of year, I mean, it's been so humid right now. This is September and we shouldn't have this humidity, but it's so humid right now that I'm a little worried about the condensation at nighttime, daytime, all that back and forth, promoting a little bit of mildew. This powdered pig feed, it really sucks up the moisture and can really promote mildew quickly. So I'll keep an eye on that. Again, I've never had this thing go 16, 20 days like that. So it may be where I have to not fill it up as full, but we'll see. This is the experiment. Okay, so we're going to test that out and just see how long that lasts. So that 800 pounds, but we'll probably get up to where we're doing 1,000, maybe even more as we finish out the next 2 months. Well, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe below. And check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Red Toolhouse Farm. Take care, everybody.